Hi there and welcome along to another edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes, joined by James Warden from Ladbrokes. How are you, James? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully get on a little bit better in the tip in front than last week. But
Not too bad, not too bad. You did reveal to your taste in music during the week to me on Twitter, by the way, so might leave that for a little bit. Johnny, you all right?
How are you? How are things?
Yeah, good. And we welcome back David Jennings, looking a bit sunned.
Yeah, a little bit of a tan, yeah.
A little bit of a tan.
Off-white.
A little bit off-white, yeah. Got some
Eggshell.
bling on your finger as well.
I do, yeah.
And paint on your hands as well.
Yeah, we're doing up an old cottage, actually. We're moving into today, and we're painting fireplaces and painting walls and stuff. And I don't think before this week I knew what primer was.
Oh, okay.
But now I know. Now I know.
Explosive.
Yeah, I've finally grown up.
Oh, okay.
Struggling to get that paint off your
Yeah.
hand.
20
Turn
showers
into
later,
work.
and I still have paint, yeah.
Did the walls look okay, or is it mostly on you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see tonight.
All right. Let's move on to Saturday. Grade 1 Clarence House Chase at Ascot is 3:35. Just the three runners go to post. Obviously, long odds on about Altior, James.
yeah, well, it was a bit of a disaster with Undersow coming out here, but it's 1-8 at the moment about Altior, Fox Norton at 13-2, and Diego de Charmil 16-1.
There's no kind of betting angle really to take on this, is there?
I actually fancy Fox Norton.
Okay.
No, I don't. I'm joking. No, there's not. No, it's a bit of a disaster, really. And I suppose everybody that loved the old Victor Chandler would be saying that it should be a handicap again.
Just saying that, Racing TV put up a video of Desert Orchid winning, given the second place horse £22.
Unbelievable
It's
race.
just phenomenal.
Yeah, I heard Simon Sherwood talking about it during the week. Look, this is the best horse in training running against two horses who are vastly inferior to him. I do think there could potentially be a betting angle here, and I'll explain very quickly. A couple of different firms are obviously betting on distances, and it's very tricky because horses can be eased down. You don't know what way the race is going to run, but the way I predict this happening is that I think Altior is going to have to make his own running, because Diego de Charmil won't be making the running, and I don't think Fox Norton will want either. I think Nico will have to make his own run and go his own pace, and Altior actually is better jumping at speed, so I don't think he's going to go a dawdle. And if you look at it, Diego de Charmil, I would imagine, has the Grand Annual at Cheltenham as his ultimate aim. So I don't think he was beaten 19 lengths by Altior Kempton. I don't think he's going to want to get too close to him to affect his mark, which is actually reasonably okay for a Grand Annual. Fox Norton hasn't run for 398 days, and he's got a kind of a common sense jockey in Robbie Power. So I think if Fox Norton is not going to be crucified to get close to Altior in his first run back from a suspensory problem. So I could see Altior winning by a huge margin. He's 9-4 with Ladbrokes to win by 20 lengths or more. I just think if Fox Norton jumps the last within 10 or 12 lengths of Altior, I could see Robbie being quite sympathetic. I think he wants
If he knows he's going to get second,
yeah, I think he wants to give him an enjoyable experience. And for that reason, I think if you are looking for a bit of value, this is a race most people just want to watch. But if you do want to have a bet, I think Altior to win by 20 lengths or more, I could see them finishing huge distances apart.
Altior at 20 or more, Johnny?
Yeah, I don't know about that, because if he's out in front, the big thing that sets Altior apart from any 2-mile chase that I can remember is his finishing kick is quite unbelievable. Like he looks in trouble often throughout his races, and even when he jumped upside doing the so in December, it didn't look like, obviously if you'd never seen Altior before, it looked in the balance.
Yeah. But not at Kempton, Johnny, and this is a similar race to the Kempton race.
Yeah, it is.
There's no one to so like.
I'm just not sure if he goes out and makes the run, and I'm not sure he'll even ask him to extend. He just might just lob away, and just because what's the point? Like, but as Jenna was saying there, these races between the Irish and the British pattern, there are simply too many Grade 1s and too many graded races. That sounds like a stupid thing, but there aren't enough top class handicaps. And Graham Rodway had a good tweet, I think, this morning about the prices the winners are going off in this race in the last 10 years. This is a race that I wouldn't even be that bothered about missing, because if I'm told that Altior didn't win, I'll watch the replay. But like, what's the point? He's having a schooling session. But there's a lot to be said for looking at higher class handicaps.
Yeah. Well, I think that probably brings us neatly on to Haydock, where there are 3 Grade 2s there and the 4 Grade 2s in the middle of the card. But we'll focus on the Supreme Trial first at 205, and you have a price for that.
We do indeed. We have Mr. Fisher priced up at 10-11. Angel Breath, who probably would be the favourite, but it's doubtful whether that'll take its chance for Nicky Henderson at 7-4. Bright Forecast, Thomas Darby, both at 7-2. That's 12's bar the top 4.
Yeah.
Well, obviously
Angel's Breath.
Angel's Breath doesn't run.
Mr. Fisher's odds on now, but
yeah, Mr. Fisher is a proper horse. I wouldn't like. the Supreme is very open this year. He'd certainly be in my top 3 for the Supreme. That form with Kempton, I think, is really good form. Rouge Vif, the horse that was second, people mightn't have heard of him, but he is a proper horse for Harry Whittington. Rouge Vif on its previous start beat Oakley by 10 lengths at Suddle. Oakley has come out and bolted up since and is now rated 130. Rouge Vif beat him by 10 lengths. Mr. Fisher hammered Rouge Vif, which makes me think that certainly Mr. Fisher is a genuine Supreme candidate. He'll win.
Okay, Johnny, do you add anything to add to that?
Nicky's team of novices is quite incredible.
Yeah.
Like, if you ignored Rathill's run in the Tolworth, and you can give him another chance, like, and he
looks to have serious depth though, doesn't he?
Yeah, as well as like the 2 milers, a lot of these horses like Champ and there's the Getaway horse as well, Downtown Getaway. I'd say he could be very good. He could be a right candidate for the Ballymore.
Runs tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward. I think he's going to be a proper horse. And he has obviously Angel's Breath as favourite for the Supreme. I think Mr. Fisher is around 10-12 to 1 for the Supreme. A Bright Forecast should give him a nice toe into the race here, and he's a very, very nice horse. 2 big Jeremy horses that Nicky is running in these races tomorrow.
Well, let's move on to the 240 at Haydock, that champion hurdle trial, carrying the name of the new one, Small Field here, James.
What do you make of that, Tom?
What
do you make of that?
I wouldn't
Race call after the new one.
Well, it's a grade 2, so it's about right.
Oh,
What?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be.
Well, look, there was a great tweet earlier on today about horses that just don't really float your boat, and I think the guy on Twitter put up a cue card as
And who
one.
did you put up?
Hurricane
Fly of all horses.
Just doesn't float my boat, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tom on this. I never really warmed Hurricane Fly. Later on in his career, when he showed real terrier-like qualities.
Yeah. Earlier on when he's just cantering around at Leopardstown, 6 on.
What put you off? Just winning all the time.
It's just no excitement. There's nothing about him.
The owners didn't seem like utterly colourful characters. He was obviously trained by, like, you know, I'd have a soft spot for the smaller trainer as well, and also I do remember backing him at odds on in Champion Hurdle.
Here we go. We have the real reason.
But this is absolutely ridiculous, calling a race after the new one. The new one is a horse that, like, basically came and went. He won a few races, blah blah blah.
Oh.
Like, why are you calling a race after him?
Oh, absolutely.
In the annals of legends, this horse
No
wouldn't
way.
even be in the book. Like.
Don't even get me started on that top 50 2-mile chasers. Anyway, this race, Silver Streak, your favourite.
Yeah, we have Silver Streak in at 15 to 8. It's Mohayed at 3 to 1, 100 to 30 Western Rider, 4 to 1 Global Citizen, and Ping Shu, the outsider of the party, at 11s.
Silver Streak, Moayed, are you going to give your old mate Western Rider a shout?
Yeah, it's funny. I know Johnny really fancies something strongly here, and I can see his point, but I think the horse that he fancies will actually set the race up for those in behind. I just think at the prices, Western Rider is probably the best value, because I know he's formed to make up with Silver Streak on his last 2 starts, but I just think left-handed at Haydock on a flat track with pace in the race guaranteed. I thought that was a really good run off a big weight at Ascot, and while I don't think he's a punting proposition, I do think Western Rider is probably the most likely winner.
Okay, Western Rider. Johnny, you fancy one here?
I do. I think Global Citizen, as Gino says, this is a basically straightforward case. He's going to make the run, and seemingly Ben Pauling thought there was something to blame for the fact that he hung so badly last day. It wasn't a bad one, all told. You know, I mean, the race itself, you're kind of still scratching your head about what happened. But this horse is a mad hot favourite when he ran at Aintree last year. He obviously didn't go to Cheltenham. I just think the likes of Mohayed is going to be badly disadvantaged by this being a small field. Now, Geno makes a fair point. If Global Citizen goes off like nuts, which he often does, he might set it up for them. But if he can just restrain him, I could easily see him holding on and just kind of kicking on from the second last. I definitely could see him being back there. And the comments of Ben Pauling during the week, it's not a particularly strong race.
Yeah, fair enough. Also at Haydock is the Peter Marsh, that grade 2 at 3:15. Do you like one here, Jenna?
I do. I like Red Infantry, who's 1 from 1 at Haydock. I thought when he beat Bishop's Road over 3 mile 4, I think it was 2
I was
furlongs
scrolling
further.
there and find the price. It's a big price.
Is he a big
11
price?
to 1.
Is he 11 to 1? Yeah. No, I don't think he'll go off 11 to 1. I thought he ran a remarkable race at Sandown because he kept jumping to his left and he just had no interest. For the first mile of the race, he just said, I'm having none of this. And then he got a new lease of life, and he was only beaten a length that day by Morning Wing. The form of that race actually worked out quite well. They were well clear of the third. He's a career high mark to defy. He's up to 142. But I think he likes Haydock. I think the flat track will suit him. And he's one of these staying chasers that I think we haven't seen the best of yet. So, yeah, Red Infantry, he certainly won't go off at 11 to 1.
Anything for you guys in the Peter Marsh?
No, I've one other bet on Saturdays.
Go on, share.
Eviscerating in the 210. He was with Mouse Morris, and Joseph O'Brien then took him. Don't think Joseph's horses that he got off Mouse, I think they've actually been a bit of a mixed bag.
210 at Navan, that is, yeah.
210 at Navan, yeah. Two-way Permy, who runs in the big race on Sunday. Obviously, he went to Noel Mead from Mouse, and he's definitely improved this season, one way or the other. But Eviscerating, they start him over 2.6 at Navan. He was very well backed. He traded short and run and didn't get home. Then they dropped him to 2 miles at Naas last time when he stayed on well. And I think the interim trip just might suit him here. I would give a good mention to Dennis Hogan's horse as well, Lady Writer, who ran a blinder behind a Gamble winner there a few days ago. But I think Eviscerating is rock solid for, I think, Rachel Blackmore.
Anything else for you on Saturday, James?
Well, I was just looking at the Peter Marsh chase there, and not overly fancied him, but I just think it'd be interesting to see how One for Arthur runs there after on shipping last time out. Hopefully can get back to somewhat near his best.
And you, Jello?
Few,
get the list out.
Very quickly.
Get the list
I'll
out.
be very sweet,
quickly.
Very
okay.
sweet on Culture de Civola in the 150 at Ascot, the Great at Mare's Hurdle. Magic of Light is over for Jessica Harrington, but I just think it's obviously got over his back problems. And I really liked his win the last day. Her win the last day. I think the race should be run to suit. So Culture de Civola in the 150. Those days are gone. I thought one bolted up at Weatherby for Charles Burns. That goes in the 225 at Ascot. I think that'll win again for Robbie Power. And then we have in the 415 at Haydock. I thought Django got off leniently, only going up £5 for winning. I thought quite snugly at Chepstow. I thought that'd win again. And just 2 at Navan. Dial Kerr in the 1 o'clock at Navan, the 2 mile 4 maiden hurdle. That would have won a really good maiden hurdle at Leopardstown, only for stumbling after glass. And Harrett in the 135 at Navan won the race last year off 115. He's only £5 higher now. Loves Navan. Philip Enright is booked again. And I think Harrett might repeat the dose in the 135.
If you're going to Navan on Sunday, by the way, make sure you get there for the Saturday. Sorry, the 12:30, the opening race in that card is absolutely brilliant novices hurdle, and it's won by some really good horses in the past as well. I think it's cut up a little bit now, but like some serious good winners in the past, so get there early. We're going to move on to Sunday. Graded action at Thurles on Sunday. There you go. What more can you want? The horse and jockey chase anyway is going to start us off. Do we have any prices, or maybe just an idea of prices for that,
well,
James?
we have a bit of a tissue price here. Total Recall looks set to go off 7-4 as your favourite. 2-day Permise at 9-4. Invitation only 9-2.
Give me that.
Sub Lieutenant at 7-1. And 14-1 bar.
I'm surprised actually you're going against 2A Permy here.
No,
I think 2-day Permise solid.
Are you against 2A Permy here?
Yeah, I am. I would have been incredibly sweet on invitation only in the Thyestes had he ran. It's interesting that he's going here instead. Right-handed, 2.5 miles. He's only rated 152. I think he's definitely 158/160 horse. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I really don't. I think he's got a serious engine on. He's very hot and cold, but if he is on a go and Ruby rides him, Paul Townend's on Total Recall, and the ratings suggest he can't win. But I am convinced he's a much better horse than the 152 horse.
I'm very sweet in 2A Permy here. What about you, Johnny?
So am I actually.
I actually thought he was nearly a good thing in the Paddy Power of 150. He would have had top weight. I just don't think 150 looks lenient. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I remember Noel Mead. He was talking at I think it was Punchestown, subsequent to his win in the Tri-Town, and he was saying that he might run in the Tremor race that actually
Album photo one.
and Total Recall finished second in.
And invitation only finished third.
Yeah, so it's interesting. He comes here a bit fresh. I don't think dropping back in trip is any problem to him. He loves this ground, and he's just a very progressive, likeable horse. Very, very reliable sort for Noel Mead. He's gone up to 150 now. Like, in fairness to Total Recall, at his best, the trip might be a bit of a concern, but he would have a chance. But Willie Mullins, the 2 cards in Ireland this weekend. It's what are we? January 19th tomorrow. There are 7 races in Thurles, 7 or 8 in Navan, so 14 or 15 races. He runs horses in 3 races. That's what the ground is like.
That's incredible.
He said, what more would you want at Thurles? We could do a rain. Like, at this stage, we live in Ireland. Like, we shouldn't be asking for rain. But for if you're living on the east coast of Ireland, since I'd say something like last March
the
or
going
April,
is good at Thurles in January.
it was. I think Jessica Harrington said at the Leopardstown launch that there was firm in the going in Thurles this week. Like, if you're living on the east coast of Ireland, for the last 8 months, I would say literally there's been about 5 proper wet days. Like, it's insane, and it's very, very worrying. If you own a heavy ground horse, there is now the very real chance that the whole season will go by without proper heavy ground, and that's an awful waste of money. And global warming is becoming so prevalent at this stage already, and we're living in a first world country, so it's not going to be a problem for us as much as poor people. But it's going to be a massive problem for racing, and I can just tell from talking to trainers and owners that they're really fed up with it in Ireland this season. And like Larkin Wire was practically jumping up and down because 40 to 50 mils are due at Leopardstown. Even if they get the 40 to 50 mils, it'll make very little difference because Leopardstown has had no rain for about 8 months.
Yeah, it is a bizarre situation. There is another great race in the Thurles card. Your thoughts on this one? The Coolmore National Hunt Stars Mares Novices Chase. The 7 got a post there, but you got Mary DeVee, Ellie Mack, Camelia de Cott.
Yeah, I thought it was Camelia de Cott's for the taking. Like, she recorded an RPR 143 last time. That's vastly superior to any of these can achieve. Jumps great. It's just a much better chaser than she was over hurdles, and I'd imagine she'd be a very sharp price and will oblige.
Anything else on the Thurles card?
Nothing really standing out. I was very sweet on 2-day Permise as well, along with you. But I was actually speaking to Sean Flanagan during the week, and he says he's in great form, and they expect a big run out of him. So I think that
it looks a nice opportunity.
Also, considering like you basically would have married Noel Meade if Aoife wasn't around, it must be. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
for you
look,
to abandon 2-8 per me.
Potentially could be a proper Grade 1 horse, but I think Invitation Only is already a proper Grade 1 horse.
Okay, that's fine.
I like Tell Me Annie in that race against Camelia de Cott. Camelia de Cott got a solo at Cork. Tell Me Annie was only sent off 6-1, despite the fact I think it was actually her chase debut, thrown straight into a race of that nature. She's very, very tough. I think I'd be amazed if she didn't try to go out and make the run. And she was due to run in Naas, was it last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, and was scratched for some reason, but she will love the ground. I think 2.5 miles on this ground, once she can get out the solo, I think she could be very, very dangerous, and she's going to be a big prize.
Anything else in Thurles?
Yeah, just 2 Teacher's Pet in the 3:15.
Oh, that's you now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's me. I think 2 miles is too short. I think 3 miles is too far. I think 2.5 miles around Thurles is perfect. And I also like one that could be potentially a big price in the 135. Ask Nile.
Yeah.
Run off 122. I think, like the run the last day, was hampered at the wrong time at Punchestown. So Ask Nile on the 135.
Good stuff. Right, let's get our best bets of the weekend. And of course, that was going best odds guaranteed in shops from 12 to 2 every day. Start with you, James.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Magic of Light in that mare's race at Ascot, the 150 on Saturday. I'm going to go with Mr. Fisher in the Supreme Trial and 2-day Permise on Sunday in Navan.
Good stuff.
Thurles.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'll go with Global Citizen, obviously. That's my only selection on Saturday. And then I will go with 2-way Permis and Tell Me Annie. They're in the 2 grades 2s.
210 and 240.
At Thurles on Sunday.
I'm going against James. My nap at the weekend is in the 150 at Ascot Culture de Civila. I also like in the 415 at Haydock Django. And I'm going to go for Invitation Only in the Horse and Jockey Chase at Thurles.
Good stuff. Well, I'm sticking my word with 2-way for me as well in that Horse and Jockey Chase. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week with more What's the Word.